Hi Fad Campers, it's Grace here and I have some new stand updates I'd love to tell you about. If you're based in the UK, I will be doing some dates in July and August and I'd love to see some of you there. I'll be in Leeds doing a work in progress with Amy Annette on July 4th in the Hyde Park Book Club. I'll be in Brighton on July 6th with Alison Spittle in the Comedia Comedy Club, and I'm going to be doing my own work in progress show in Glasgow on July 12th at Good Egg Comedy. Also then, I will be at the Edinburgh Fringe, of course, for the entirety of August, from July 30th to August 24th. I'll be at the Assembly George's Square, the Crate, 10 to 3 every day. Would love if you could tell anyone you know who's going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe to come see my show. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network.
What's the best way to reduce? Eat plenty or starve yourself?
30 pounds in just 18 weeks. Jenny Craig totally worked.
I love to eat, but overeating made it impossible to lose weight.
My body wants bread, and I'm going to give my body what it wants.
Oh my God.
So I lost naturally.
Medical studies prove that overeating is the number one reason for weight gain. If you need to lose weight, use safe and natural spring away and bring your weight down without the use of the same.
Welcome to Fad Camp, a podcast that throws a comedy eye over our societal obsession of diets. Now, a little disclaimer, we are not health experts, but we are fad diet connoisseurs. I'm your host, comedian Grace Mulvey.
And I'm your co-host, Conor Dowling.
Welcome to Fad Camp. Hello, Conor. How are you getting on?
Hey, how's it going, Grace? Good to be here.
Excited. We've been very giddy today and we are nicely coming down from that now so we can talk about the topic at hand. Me and Conor haven't seen each other in a while. So when we do, it's just like...
We had to rein it in just a little bit before. And not too much because we still want to, give people some of that unadulterated Grace and Conor on each other action. Grace, sorry.
What I'm talking about.
No, sorry, let me do that again. We had to rein it in a little bit because we still wanted to give people some of that like authentic Grace on Conor action.
Conor on Conor action. We don't know what we're saying right now. Okay, we're going to go straight into it. You can see how giddy we are. I'm very excited to be here. This is actually a topic that I'm really excited to talk about because it only came to me to talk about it last night. And then the research I was doing, I was like, oh my God, I'd learned stuff I'd never learned before. Now, Conor, just to get straight into it, right? I'm going to be talking about brides, weddings, and the stigmatization of people needing, apparently, to lose weight for a wedding.
That sounds excellent. And to be honest, like you say, you only had the idea for it last night, but at the same time, I feel like you've kind of been subconsciously researching this for a long time, like how can you not notice these things from the years of like weddings that you go to? Right?
Yeah, listen, Conor, okay, I was a bridesmaid twice last year, okay? And that wasn't even, those were not like, I didn't just go to 2 weddings last year as a bridesmaid. I went to a lot of weddings. I just happened to be, I'm just so popular.
Apparently so. Okay.
Like I've just got so many friends. If anything, I'm trying to distance myself from people who are in love in my life because I don't want to do it again. No, I'm joking. I love my friends. But
Does she
though? But I've been involved in a lot of weddings, or even kind of almost like on the sidelines, but like very good friends getting married. And I've kind of seen it's a lot of pressure organising a wedding. Like fair play to anyone who is doing it. My sympathies, because it's an amazing day. Obviously, you're going to have a great time, but there's a lot going on all around it. That's just the organisation. We're going to focus in on the societal pressure on brides to lose weight in particular. Conor, have you been to many weddings? I just want to ask.
I have. That's a good question. I've been to a bunch.
Okay.
Not as many. I do have a lot of friends who have kind of gotten married in like smaller ceremonies, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've never been like a groomsman at like a massive wedding,
Okay.
And I'd never be a bridesmaid. Probably never will be, unfortunately.
Never a groomsman, never the groom.
Yeah.
That's even sadder than always bridesmaids, never the bride. Look at the two of us.
Are we gonna get married?
Yeah, I'm literally like, this would be the start of every rom-com. But anyway.
She's a hard-nosed comedian living in London.
He's a...
What am I?
He's a question mark. moving to Los Angeles. Okay, since you are quite outside then, it's kind of good to talk to you about this because basically you're kind of outside of this sort of world maybe, and I might be educating you on some of the things.
Okay, great.
But
Educate me, Grace. People love being educated.
I love womansplaining to you.
Yeah.
Tell me if you've heard any kind of these phrases
Okay.
before. I'm just going to throw out a few phrases. The bridal bubble.
No.
Shredding for the wedding.
Yes.
Shedding for the wedding.
Yes. More so than shredding for the wedding, to be honest.
Paragliding for the wedding. No, that's not true. And then the last one is something old, something new, something borrowed, something ew.
I have not heard of that, but I'm intrigued by it.
I
very
love
much.
that phrase so much now. That's going to be my new phrase.
Is that when the bride accidentally craps herself before the wedding? It's like, disaster, we've got us something. And it's such a long thing to like learn out.
Walking in white and brown down the
my
aisle.
God.
But basically these are kind of phrases, right, that in my research I've heard thrown out into kind of the diet culture around weddings and brides and all sorts of things. The bridal bubble, I suppose, is like, it's basically like maybe the pressure that brides might feel when coming up to a wedding. So weddings are incredibly stressful events to organise, okay? So I just have, even just watching my friends do it, like fair play to people who are getting married, like obviously congratulations, but also my sympathies because it's a very difficult thing to organise. And outside of just the organisation, there might be a sort of unnameable or like, it's hard to almost like describe pressure that women might feel when getting married to lose weight. Something that like is not only is said to them many times, but also is sort of like hinted at, or sort of like, you know, there's all these kind of articles that come out about it, or there's bridal magazines and they have a lot of articles about losing weight for weddings and stuff. So there's all this sort of stuff where it's like, for you to remain the same weight is almost seen as a revolutionary act.
Oh my goodness, I just had a flashback. I just had a memory.
Were you?
I was a bride. I was getting married.
This is my past life.
This is when I lived in Mexico. No. I remember one of my dear friends, it was in the run up to her wedding, and we were having coffee and her sister was there. I hadn't really seen her sister in a few years. I was like, oh, we're all hanging out. And she was talking about she still had a few more pounds to lose before the wedding. And this girl, like, you know, at a glance, you know, you would not expect that. We know we can talk about like how various people feel based on their size and all that. But like, no, we're not talking about, this person is not about to go through some eye-popping transformation where they've lost, you know, they have 100 pounds to lose before, you know, anything. We're talking like, you know, very small amount of weight here, if anything. And I think I remember being like, what are you talking about? You don't need to lose weight at all. Because that's who I am. I support
women,
oh my
God. Connor,
women.
you're a male feminist. You're a woke male feminist. We love you.
Oh, I didn't even know I'd come off like that. Yeah, that's just... I guess.
I'm just a good person. I didn't even realise. Yeah.
No, but I remember her sister being like, come on. Let's, like, you know.
So after you said, you don't need to lose weight.
But she didn't even look at me because I'm, you know, fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
She looked to her sister and she's like, come on, let's not take the piss. Like, you know what you need to do.
You are joking.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of that coming in today, but when you said it, like, about if they remain the same weight, it's considered... I'm
telling you something now, and my sister's listening. If she ever said that to me...
Anna, we're coming for you.
We're coming for you. Like... But that, you know what? You don't even, I suppose, judge. It's very hard because, you know, when like the sister says that to her, I'm sure the sister on some level is like,
if I have to do it, you have to do it.
Or even just like, oh, you'll be angry if you eat something now, or you'll be, you know what I mean? Like, the problem is that we're also brainwashed into this thinking that like we think we're doing someone a favor by being no, don't be listening to him saying you should love yourself as you are.
You're listening to this fat fuck. You're gonna let this fat fuck ruin your wedding. Maybe that's why I don't get invited to so many weddings, because I'm like, you know, trying to get the brides to just like chow down in the weeks leading up to it. Their maid of honor is like the food police.
Every wedding you go to, the bride can't fit into her dress. That's why people don't invite you to weddings. Well, it's funny that I'm glad that you had at least some experience with it, because
that's what happened to me. That was painful.
You.
That was painful for me.
God, you straight white man. I feel for you. Well, you know, it's funny because like even, you know, I have a few anecdotes myself, and I suppose kind of looking back, you know, weirdly, even as a bridesmaid, I was very aware of my size on the day of the wedding because I was always in the two weddings I've been the biggest person. And I would notice it. Like, I'd just be like, oh, here we fucking go. My head, like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing, and no one, by the way, around me would make me feel like that. I have the best of mates. And do you know what I mean? I pick very good people to be in my life.
Sorry, I always question your friends whenever you say that. I have to now at this stage.
But
are they your friends?
Are they though? No one likes you. But it's the thing where I'm very aware of my size, and like even photos that come out. And the problem with weddings is that people as well, it's like you are, like, I do kind of feel for celebrities on the day. If you're part of a wedding party, you'd never know who's taking a photo of you at any time. True. And fair play to people, they will always somehow send me the most unflattering photo I've ever seen in my life.
They're like, oh my God, look at you at your best. here's our, oh, there's Grace. Oh, isn't she looking
do you know what it is? And I realise this. People send photos and they see themselves and they are looking amazing. Okay. So they'll send it to you and they'll be like, oh my God, don't we all look amazing? And you're like, oh, I'm sorry.
And you know what else I can say about that as well from my experience as a photographer, extraordinaire.
Oh my God.
I have photographed weddings in the past as well. Who's the star of the wedding? The bride.
Oh my God, totally.
Right.
Yeah.
Particularly the bride, right?
Yeah.
So if in the photographs the bride looks her best, the groom looks, passable, / his best, like the photographer, isn't going to be like making sure that every single, it's their job to make everyone look their best, but like their focus is on the bride and groom.
That's it. Or and maybe the parents as well. That's it. Like everyone else.
Like in a group photo, it's like, like who cares how they look? But then the bride is like, here's an amazing photo of you in your lovely dress, and you're like, oh my God, I'm literally eating a scone and while telling a joke.
I honestly, as well, like people who listen to this podcast can tell I'm a laugher, but I'm a very physical laugher. So I throw my head back a lot. And so it's just like double chin city. Like I literally am like... and
oh my God, where's
like,
the whole wedding? Double chin city? I didn't know you had a wedding abroad.
In double chin land next to double chinville. So like I'm so annoyed at myself whenever I see photos because I'm like, why can't I stand still for one fucking second?
Sure.
So that I can just smile and look. And that's the problem, I think, actually, weirdly. And it's the Instagramification of everything as well, isn't it? Before we even go into it.
We're always just so glued to our phones. Like, what's that all about?
What's that all about, man? No, it's the fact that like the most boring photos are the nicest.
Sure.
But chances are when you look back, it's not going to be like, like back in the day when people like had like photo albums and stuff, it was all these photos where people kind of looked like a bit, they were kind of mid doing something or putting on, do you know what I mean? While now Instagram photos, like I sometimes see people and I'm like, I have never seen you pose in any other way than one way.
Right.
And you look great, do not get me wrong. But I don't know if you're going to look back and be like, oh, it's going to look like a weird AI where it's just you and almost like, it's like copy and pasted into every single thing of your life. And I'm like, in a weird way, there is something wrong with the fact that we're not allowing ourselves to be a bit more human in photographs.
We're trying to erase the imperfections like on the spot.
Yeah. And I just feel like you're copying and pasting yourself.
Or anyway. Like or not only are you orchestrating that photo so you're posed in a certain way, but then you're deleting all of it. Delete that photo, I hate the photo, delete that, don't send me that photo or whatever,
Well, and that's been my instinct actually. In some of the photographs that I've been sent from weddings that I've been at, my instinct is to be like, please, get rid of that one. I don't like that. And then I was like, who gives a shit? Like, as in like, also it's not my day. Mm-hmm. So like I'm in the background, I'm doing whatever. I'm just cruising, chilling, living life, double chin city, population me. And but I'm like, and at the end of the day, I'm like, also I know if I knew me, if I wasn't me and I looked at that person, I'd be like, oh my God, she looks like she's having a great crack. Mm-hmm. Or I'd look back. Right. Someday I won't be here, I'll be gone and dead. And like, I'll look back and go, oh my God, Grace is like, I can almost hear her laughing in this photo.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Yes. Like Grace and her double chin are just having a good time. But you know what I mean? Like,
Grace
it's like,
got married to her double chin.
This is my groom. I do for life. Through sickness and health. Until death do us part. So anyway, anecdotally though, I have noticed some very problematic things around, particularly when people talk about the bride and the way the brides are meant to look on the day. So I'm not going to go into any kind of specifics, but I have been in wedding dress shops, not even actually as a bridesmaid, just as like sometimes with mates, like before they were getting married or whatever, or friends who were like kind of like who I knew in the periphery. The way it is spoken about in wedding dress shops sometimes about bride's weight is fucking unbelievable, okay? It is not odd to hear someone go basically like, what size do you intend to be on your wedding day?
Right.
Being
right.
asked,
Okay.
right?
Wow.
Basically, also dressmakers, I have heard this asking, are you going to lose weight for this? Because I'm going to make alterations, so I kind of need to know now,
Okay.
right? Which they don't, let's be
Okay.
honest. It's also their job.
Yeah.
As much as I'm like, because like that'll be more work for me. I'm like, oh, sorry, the thousands I'm paying you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course that's your job. But anyway, I did, and I have also heard people just comment on brides' appearances. Like, if people didn't think the brides had like lost enough weight, they were like, what have you been doing to try to get into this dress? Like, those have been questions that have been asked to paying customers, okay? And then it's the whole thing of like, yeah, but the alterations might cost more because if I have to alter the dress more, like, that'll cost you. And you know what really pisses me off? Or like, more fabric, that'll cost you. And again, I'm like, well, do you charge taller people more? Like, because I don't understand the logic here. And it just is, basically, I've heard a lot of this, and anecdotally from people who've gotten married and all sorts, right? It is something that in the moment, when I've heard people talking about this, they feel they can't say anything, or they shouldn't, or that it'd be rude to go to the person, can you not maybe comment on my appearance? Can you not comment on my weight? Or the fact that you might just say to someone, yeah, take it out. You know what I mean? Like, if you can take it in, you can take a dress out, or maybe go a size up. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are just, again, before you've even gotten to the wedding day, the dress has become such a problem. And this is a dress, by the way, that women on average are spending like 1,000 on. Do you know what I mean? Why is it that you're the problem, but the dress isn't the problem? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird thing to me that you would see a human being in front of you coming in the door going, I'm getting married, I'm so excited, I'm here to drop a load of money, and you go, brilliant, you're a problem, my dress is the thing that I won't need to change. Like, no. The dress is a thing that can be very easily changed and is your job to change. Why are you talking about this person's appearance? So anyway, anecdotally, that from the get-go, I had feelings about weddings that were already a bit weird. Like, I was already a bit like, this is just, and I'm hearing it from people who I wasn't even going to their wedding, just anecdotally, and I was like, this is just like not a great vibe here. So when you put like women who are already, you know, listen, we're in a society, we're very diet culture driven, we're image heavy now, particularly with social media. Men are feeling it, but women always have been feeling this, and now it's like even more kind of like intensified. So, Conor, can you imagine, right? Do you think there's been any studies done on whether brides lose weight or feel the need to lose weight on their wedding day?
I mean, people get married so often that I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
There have been quite a few among
Quite
Freyr.
a few.
Quite a few. One that kind of, I think, is basically the basis of a lot of like articles that I've been doing, like reading up on, is a 2008 Cornell University one, which 2007, 2008. And it took perhaps the most comprehensive look at bridal weight loss habits. Okay, so here's a quote from it. Most women engaged to be married idolize a wedding weight much lighter than their current weight. Okay? So that was the co-author, Laurie Neighbours. About 70% of women in the study said they wanted to lose weight, ideally 23 pounds on average. Wow. So 23 pounds, what's that?
That's like almost 2 stone.
Almost 2 stone, just shy of 2 stone. While 21% said they wanted to prevent weight gain. So again, 70% want to lose just shy of 2 stone. 21% say they want to prevent weight gain. Okay, comparing these numbers to the national data, now this is the American national data, I will say, they found that the brides-to-be were more concerned with weight loss than the average American woman. 53% of which want to lose weight. So that's the average American woman, 53% want to lose weight. So like they're more concerned brides than the average woman is to lose weight. So shedding for the wedding is a relatively new phrase. I've heard it many times now. But here are some like, I didn't realize
That's when you
this.
build a shed in the garden to entertain your guests right before the wedding. Is
Exactly.
That what it is?
What you do no.
The father of the bride.
When I
has
say
to
shedding
build-
for the wedding, you create a shed that the bride goes into and does not eat.
That's like a sweat hut.
Yeah,
Okay.
until the day of the wedding, and then she emerges in white, glowing.
Amazing. I love
Amazing.
it. Yeah.
But basically, like, there's been many. I actually want to go into like not only I didn't realize this, but like a lot of like there's like bridal magazines, but there's also like weight loss books just for brides.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It seems so strange that you would need to have a specific weight loss book for wedding. I mean, I wonder if it has anything to do with just like them cashing in on the fact that people will spend money to assuage the stress of their weddings.
Connor, don't be so cynical.
I know. I mean, that's
These
just
people want to help,
that's
Connor.
just a wild theory. But I also like have a hard time imagining like what would be in that, like, you know, like
Yeah.
Like what how do they make it wedding specific?
Maybe like just they give you how many calories you burn by walking up the aisle.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you burn 2 calories walking up the aisle, so just do it like 20,000 times. Books are called Skinny Sexy Bride, Lose Weight for Your Wedding in 1 hour per week. Another is called The Bride Diet, How to Lose Weight Fast and Look Amazing for Your Dream Wedding. Another one's called Brides, The Complete Guide to Getting into Shape and Looking Great for Your Wedding. I mean, literally, again and again, it's kind of like the same title. But there was one headline that really did grab me. This is on the back cover of The Bride Diet. Did you know that over 70% of women are too large to fit into the dress they chose on their wedding day?
Okay.
Did you know that basically 70% of wedding dresses don't fit the bride?
Yeah.
70% of wedding dresses are wrongly chosen by the dressmaker for this bride, is what you're trying to say.
Hashtag blame the dress, not the bride. Okay.
Sorry, guys. But it's so like insane. Why are we blaming these women? Like 70 are too large.
I'm snapping along.
Part of this quote on the back of this book also said, can you imagine how humiliated and desperate those thousands of women must feel as they frantically pace and pray that the last second alterations can be done in time?
I'd love to hear you doing the audiobook of this.
Oh, I'd be so angry.
Like, welcome to the bride diet.
You dumb bride bitch.
Just like 4 hours.
Everybody
Welcome
in your
to
life
Audible.
hates you, including your soon-to-be husband. But, like, again, this idea, what I love so much about the fact that this is called the Bride Diet on the back cover, is that they're like, I mean, like, can the alterations be done in time? And you know, when you're like, again, you're paying someone thousands.
Yeah.
That's their fucking problem. Why is it the bride's problem that the dressmaking industry seem to be so bad at their job that they're like, you human women are the problem, not the women you're paying or the people you're paying a lot of money to make the alterations.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like definitely a bigger conversation around the fashion industry, and I think we touched on it in our clothing sizes episode as well. And yeah, this just like overall, like particularly things that are considered fashion, and I would probably include like wedding dresses in that as well. I mean, I really don't have the fucking vocabulary for it, but like you know, nice dresses and not so nice dresses.
Well, even
really
like when we talked about the fashion industry, like at least with the fashion industry, it's like what's the kind of word, like mass production, right? Okay. With wedding dresses, the whole point of this is that for the one day ever, basically non-celebrity, non-very wealthy women spend a lot of money on a dress that they would never spend really on any other dress, so that it will be made for their body. And still, the fucking wedding industry are such pricks about it that they're like, oh no, we couldn't possibly work around you. You need to work around us. That's what pisses me off even more, is that like brides are made to feel that the way they look when they get engaged, the way they look when they're actually in their loving relationship that they've built with another human being, is not okay for the day that you're going to sign the piece of paper to get married. Yeah. Anyway, drinking water is the most commonly reported weight loss technique among women in this Cornell study that they found about like brides trying to lose weight. It is unfortunate that the researchers kind of failed to figure out how much the water the subjects were drinking was more behind like them trying to feel full or actually flush out toxins. But the co-author Jeffrey Sobel of this study said it is not clear whether women are using this particular strategy to increase feelings of fullness, avoid the consumption of other food, or displace higher calorie beverages. It is notable, however, that drinking excessive amounts of water is a common symptom of eating disorders. Subjects in the Cornell study listed aerobic exercise and eating less as the second and most third reported weight loss techniques. Though again, how much exercise and food restriction is unclear. They did know that 40% of the women used at least one extreme weight control behaviour, 40%, while 25% used 2 or more extreme weight controlling behaviours. Okay. So Sobel himself noted that while researching bridal magazines from the 1990s, he found that there was only like kind of one weight loss ad in the bridal magazines. Now there's a lot more. He told the Times there's a lot more pressure from profit-making groups and competition emphasis on thinness in the bridal world. It's become a cornerstone. It's kind of a mandatory item on your wedding planning to-do list. There are lists of hundreds of weight loss services and products, including diet pills, dubious weight loss clinics, and even known pyramid schemes. All under the category of fitness. Apparently, even the known pyramid scheme. Now, this is from an article called Herbalife. I haven't done any background into it.
Yeah.
Oh, have you?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
That's like the big one in America that basically you hear a lot of. It's the punchline to so many jokes. Like at this stage, like people like know it, but like it's kind of like an Avon kind of thing, you know, where you have a lot of people who sign up for this thing and they get a bunch of these fucking herbal supplement things in that purport to, you know, help with weight loss and, you know, whatever, you name it. And then it's a pyramid scheme in that the more people you have under you, the more money you make, you know, but you have a fucking garage full of like, you know, stock.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a nightmare, yeah.
That's mad. And wait, just these herbal tablets, are they meant to like lose weight? Is that the whole point of them?
Like, you know, I would be pretty confident in saying that like if someone handed you a flyer with Herbalife on it, it would say this may cause weight loss. You know, I'd be fairly confident. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, that's interesting, you know. But so I'm going to go on to one article in particular that kind of came out. Now, this is back in 2012, right? So this would be like maybe 4 years after this study was done. And it was kind of fixated a little bit on one particular weight loss plan, right? Mm-hmm. This is in 2012, and it was the New York Times reported on a hot new wedding weight loss plan called the KE diet.
Okay.
Ever heard of it?
Special K diet?
No, KE.
KE, no.
Okay, so I had never heard of this, Conor. And when I did, I was like, I cannot believe this is true. It's also, the KE diet is also known as the feeding tube. The story followed bride-to-be Jessica, I'm going to absolutely butcher this name, Schneider, who spent 8... Schneider, who spent 8 of the recommended... It's not Schneider. Okay. It's not spelled that way.
Okay. That's fine.
Don't...
Wait, was it Rob Schneider? Was Rob Schneider shedding for his wedding?
Was shredding for his wedding.
Rob, you're fine just the way you are, okay?
You're beautiful, baby girl.
Hashtag blame the dress, not the bride.
Okay. The story follows bride-to-be Jessica, I'm just going to say Jessica's name, who spent 8 of the 10 recommended days on a nasal feeding tube.
What?
During which she subsisted only on the carbohydrate-free 800-calorie KE diet powder mixed with water and passed through the tube.
Through the nose. Jessica,
down her esophagus and into her stomach.
Not your esophagus. No, that's not... What? So 800 calorie 800 calorie
carbohydrate-free 800 calorie KE diet powder. That is mixed with water. Mystery powder.
Put through the nose.
Down the esophagus.
Why not just drink it? I don't know.
Again, all right, these are all questions that are going to be brought up.
Okay,
these are all questions.
Why do it in the first place? But, you know, if you're going to do it, why down the nose, Jessica?
I know.
Why did you do it?
Why not up the ass?
The people who made it were like, no, this is supposed to be taken rectally. What are you doing, you psycho?
It's through the ear, Jessica, you stupid bitch. Yeah. Okay, so this is an outpatient procedure administered by Dr. Oliver Di Pietro, the first doctor to bring the KE diet to the US. Using this method, Dr. Di Pietro says patients can lose up to 20 pounds in 10 days. I get a lot of brides, he told the Times.
Right.
Now, okay, we're going to go a bit more into him in a little. I just wanted to kind of focus in on the actual New York Times article. By the way, I had to pay for this article. I just want everyone to know this. Okay, so that's how dedicated I am to the show. Okay, that's like there was a firewall. I was like, I won't do it. And then I was like, no, the article's just way too good. I'll do it.
You know what? You know what? One quick way you could be reimbursed.
What?
Is if our listeners sign up for Head Stuff Plus and support up to 3 shows with as little as €5 a month.
I think so, Conor.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't that amazing?
That What a hard sell. I wasn't even doing that. I was just trying to impress everyone that I actually saw. I think I've never ever paid to get behind a firewall in my life. Anyway, so this.
I think it's a paywall. Just,
Oh, is it? A paywall.
Just get it right, Grace. Just get it right, please.
Shut
would you mind?
up, Conor. I'm hungry.
Well, all this talk about nasal tubes.
Oh, I just wish I had a nasal tube to go to get some powder into my esophagus.
No, seriously, on a serious note though, we have another episode to do later after this. Do you want to go down into the cafe and get a nasal tube flat white?
Oh my God, that'd be great.
Flat
That'd
white
be
croissant.
so nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
I would love to get the croissant just like blended into
Down
my
the nose.
like cappuccino and just right up the nose.
Are you interested in the world of the strange? Do you find yourself becoming obsessed with true crime and unsolved mysteries? Do you look to the night sky hoping to see something that you can't explain? I'm Dennis Murphy, host of Something Strange, a bi-monthly podcast about tales of the weird and the unexplained. Get Something Strange wherever you get your podcasts with additional bonus content for subscribers on headstuffpodcasts.com. Something Strange out now on the Headstuff Podcast Network.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the episode. If you want to hear more bonus exclusive content for Fad Camp, make sure to log on to Headstuff Plus, and for as little as $5 a month, you can support our show and other shows on the Headstuff Podcast Network and hear exclusive content from Fad Camp. That's bonus episodes, photos, videos. It's a really good time, so we hope to see you there. Now, back to the show.
Okay. So this is an article called The Bridal Hunger Games, okay? And
fun article.
I know, by the New York Times that they did. And it was a controversial article to say the least. And I think which is why I paid behind the paywall for it. It was really interesting because the article itself goes into the fact that brides are essentially starving themselves or dieting, really restricting themselves. Not everyone, obviously. I'm not talking about everyone, but they were following a lot of brides who were doing this. And it was very weirdly uncritical of some of the practices.
Right. Okay.
So much so that they had to do a follow-up article the next week because so many people wrote in and were just like, you didn't kind of talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so the New York Times basically did this article called The Bridal Hunger Games and mixed with a few other articles from around that time. There was something about, I don't know what happened in 2012, but obviously this nasal fucking KE diet, everyone was like mad for it. But the beginning of it is Jennifer Derrick's weight had crept up to a certain amount. I'm not going to say it on the actual podcast. And she knew she would not fit into her grandmother's wedding dress. Okay, so and she said, well, women were smaller back then and there was nothing to let out, said Miss Derrick. So she took prescription pills, had vitamin B shots and made weekly $45 visits to a methadone clinic.
A methadone clinic?
No, it's not methadone. I am not insane. It's not methadone. It's Metithin clinic in Jacksonville.
Metithin?
Sure.
Okay. Medicine, are you saying?
No. Oh my God. This is so frustrating. I am reading. She was married she was married basically on March 18th out of that year, and she was able to wear the gown from 1938 and it fit perfectly by doing all of these crazy diet things. Okay.
Simple
as.
Happy ending.
Now, again, but as we were talking about this other Jessica Schneider, apparently is her name, was preparing to shop for a wedding gown by spending 8 days on a feeding tube. Okay? Yep, I know. Now, why do you think, Conor, that these women, I know that first example was a woman trying to fit into her grandmother's old dress, which, listen, we just had Kim Kardashian trying to fit into Marilyn Monroe's dress and apparently that went absolutely tits up.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She had to let it out. Different body shapes. Who knew? Maybe you're not going to fit into it.
And at the end of the episode, me and Grace are going to try to fit into each other's trousers. See what happens.
Let's see what happens. And then we're both going to cry.
It's going to be iconic.
Well, it's funny because
Wait, sorry, you asked me a question.
Yeah, I was asking you a question, I suppose, why do you think there's such pressure on these women to, why wouldn't a woman do you think, go into a wedding dress shop and maybe go a size up? Or maybe just go for one that fits her right now?
Well, first of all, I know from personal experience that a lot of our, insecurity around our size we're our own worst critics. We are really hard on ourselves, you know? So like there might not be necessarily people in our friends and family. Sometimes there are who put pressure on us, but a lot of the time it's the stuff we put on pressure, like we put the pressure on ourselves. And you can say that's come from society. That's come from years of like dieting and diet culture and all of that. But what I've been thinking as we're talking about this is like, what if I was getting married? You know?
Yeah.
I don't want my bride to be on a feeding tube.
Yeah.
But I would wager that, you know, my question really that keeps coming up is like, where are the grooms in all of this? You know?
Yeah,
Like,
that's interesting.
As a man, do you want your wife to be going through such torture and torment? But at the same time, we all know that you can tell your partner, oh, you look amazing, oh, you look great, you don't need to lose any weight. And they go, okay, cool. And then go off and do whatever they're going to do for whatever reason. That's often coming from internally or from the past or from trauma or whatever it is. So I suppose, I mean, I don't know the answer that maybe is mentioned in the article, but I just feel that like we do put so much pressure on ourselves to.
Well, the funny thing is, in the article there is no answer. In the article they kind of don't even go into like a question.
Yeah.
They kind of are just like, this is what's happening, and this is how much it costs, and isn't this gas? While the media at that point, it was 2012. I think now I'm hoping we're being a bit more like, that's a bit mad to be doing, but I'm hoping also the media might be queering these things about. Maybe I'm just that's my hope and not actually the reality.
Yeah.
But
I honestly, even despite the more awareness we have around diet culture, I wouldn't be surprised if it's as bad, if not worse. Oh my God, not to be too negative about it, but I just feel like our society pays a lot of lip service to body positivity, to health at every size, to things like that, you know, our hearts are in the right place. But then when it comes down to ourselves, we go, oh, well, fuck it. Oh, well, I'm on my way and I'm going to,
absolutely. Yeah, you know what?
You're
so true. And do you know what's so funny as well, though? The more I think about it, health at every size and like body positivity, you make no money from this.
Right.
It's very difficult to sell products to people. It's very difficult for the diet industry, who are like worth billions, to sell products to people when they're like, you're just fine on your own. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, but could you buy all this shit that you don't need anyway? Like that's kind of what it's all based on. But yeah, where are the grooms and all this? And actually there's a little bit of information about the grooms, but once again, I think now maybe grooms are feeling a little bit more pressure again because of Instagram to be photo ready, all this sort of stuff. But there is a bit in a study
again,
that I'll
the
mention
big day
later.
is always, you know,
it's always
focused on the bride, and that's fine. But I think, you know, to try to, you know, just like from a male perspective, to try to talk about like, but what about the grooms? It's like, I'd say in a lot of weddings, men are just kind of like, oh, look, just fuck off, wear a nice suit, get your hair cut and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And don't interfere. Like, does the groom have any input on the dress? No. Or the fake tan or the hair extensions?
Well, I did a quick search, not even about the groom, about the bride's appearance. I did a quick search about like, I mean, men get suits altered, and it doesn't seem to be any sort of fucking problem when they go in.
Right.
That it's like, hey, you're going to lose weight because I'm going to have to alter it. And
that's crazy, yeah. It's
crazy because you're spending a lot of money here, but I don't think altering should be like something I'd be put under pressure on. Like, I haven't heard these stories come out, so I'm weirdly like, this is mad.
That's
anyway,
shocking.
One thing that also happens that I wasn't aware of, but apparently in the 2 months of fittings before most clients' wedding, at Kleinfeld Bridal in New York, which if anyone watches Say Yes to the Dress, they will know, is a very famous bridal store in New York, seamstresses are kept busy taking in gowns. Brides-to-be say, I don't want to be a size 16, I want to be a 14 or a 12, says Jeanette Kriska, which is like one of the Kleinfeld's marketing director. But a quick note that they mentioned in an article that I didn't realise is that wedding dresses run small. So a typical wedding dress like size 8 will actually be like normally would have been a size like a typical wedding dress a size 8 will be a size 10 or 12, a psychological shock for most women buying the gown. So Kleinfeld resists brides who want smaller sizes because taking in a dress is easier than letting it out. So they'd rather give them the bigger dress, but sizes run smaller there. So like women might go in and be like, I'm a size 8, and they're like, no, a size 8 here is actually kind of a size 6. So like actually you're going to need it to go up to a size 10.
Yes.
But it's already, so these are things that I'm like, I wonder if brides knows this. And I wonder actually if it's true in Ireland. It's the fact that it's true in Kleinfeld Bridal, which is Again, a very famous bridal
Yeah.
store. I'm wondering if it's true here in Ireland.
So
and
you're
Europe.
already, your confidence and your beliefs about what you think
Your sizes.
is shaken and challenged, and you go, oh my god, they're totally right. I do need to go smaller
Yeah.
because my normal size.
And
isn't fitting
also,
me.
you know, in bridal shops, they are basically sample sizes. Because obviously, like, listen, there's so many dresses, so many different styles. So they're not going to have every size in the shop.
Yeah.
Like, they need to show you in a type of dress. So even the tiniest of women tend to not fit the gowns when they're trying them on the first time and picking them, which can cause so many brides to be like, you know, it just doesn't feel
totally.
good when you're
Yeah,
in something that
no,
doesn't work for
yeah.
you. One person in the article goes, there was no way I could see myself in a strapless bridal gown, right? This is a New Yorker who was getting married, who used Weight Watchers and hired a personal trainer to drop 20 pounds for her wedding, right, 9 years ago. Her trainer, Sue Fleming, a fitness coach in Brooklyn, is the author of the book Buff Brides.
Okay, hang on a second. I think it might have just been the pronunciation, but did you say fitness ghost?
Fitness coach.
Okay, because I'm going to write a movie called Fitness Ghost. You just witnessed the birth of the next
it's a personal trainer who's died but come back to haunt fat people.
And just keep at them. Just keep at them. I love it.
You'll never be good enough.
Yeah.
I'm the fitness ghost.
I'll be fit forever. Look at me. I died in my prime.
I would watch that film. Just like so many fat people in their sleep just being woken up and they're like, a treadmill is running downstairs. I don't even have a treadmill. Okay, Miss Fleming. So the author of Buff Brides. I did look up Buff Brides, okay?
That's a fun name. That's
Fun
also
name.
a fun name.
Fun name.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was a TV show. It looked like there was one season of a
It's
TV show.
Great name for a TV show.
Great name
let's
for a
be
TV
fair.
show. There was also another TV show I saw. Wait, let me see.
But like Buff Brides where they like fight each other in a ring. Like that's the show.
Another show was called How to Be a Buff Bride. So this is all about women needing to lose weight for their wedding.
We can all take a chapter out of that book. You don't have to be getting married to be a buff bride. That's all
Be
I'm
a buff
saying.
bride, morning, noon, and night, folks.
I take that buff bride energy into everything I do.
I'm a buff bride bitch. So, Miss Fleming said, I've been training brides for 12 to 13 years and the typical weight loss is 15 to 20 pounds. She charges $140 to $200 a session. One of her customers was so proud of her improved arms that she dropped and did push-ups before walking down the aisle.
So she popped at the altar. Got to be popping at the altar. The priest is like, damn, 2 tickets to the gun show.
Do you know when you're like, it's just makes me want to cry a bit. Like,
Yeah,
as in, like,
it's sad.
it's also this personal trainer, like, no fucking offense, but like, isn't doing anything that other personal trainers aren't doing.
Totally.
It's just going, oh, you have like a deadline for this time. Like, you know, that's
it's
it.
like you'll see like dancing teachers will have like, hey, you want to learn to dance? Want to learn to dance for your wedding?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Fitness person is like, I'm a fitness ghost. Whoa.
And I will haunt you to the day you die. I was the reason you're getting divorced. Brooke Baxter, a music entrepreneur in Brooklyn, got engaged and ordered the Blueprint Cleanse, which cost $65 a day for 6 bottles of organic juice. It helped her drop 6 pounds in 3 days. Blueprint actively courts
6 pounds
brides.
in 3 days.
Yeah.
For $65.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I shit 6 pounds in 3 days.
It's true.
It's
true.
true.
She does.
Blueprint, this cleanse company, actively courts brides, even suggesting on its website, and this is in an article, so I couldn't double check this, a cleanse with, they say on their website, a cleanse with your whole bridal party. Basically, they're like, your
fun.
whole bridal party. So not only should you do this cleanse and feel that you need to fit into your dress, make sure that your bridesmaids know that you're not happy with the way they look.
Yeah, I know, but you can do it together. I think the person got the idea for this from watching Bridesmaids. You know, the scene where they all get food poisoning.
Oh my God,
and
yeah.
They're all shitting themselves.
Imagine brides started like just trying to give their bridal party like salmonella so that on the day they'll just look really slim. Erica Cross, the founder of Blueprint.
Gives a whole new meaning to the term bridal shower. That's
Oh. Oh, stop. Erica Hughes, the founder of Blueprint, explained the effect of the diet as you're working out all of the bad stuff. Basically, that the juice is sort of like a laxative.
Bad stuff. The evil impurities within you.
But many detox and cleanses make misleading claims, says Dr. Krowski, an associate professor of surgery at Wayne State University in Detroit. He said, do you notice they never tell you what the toxins actually are? There's no science to back them up.
Yeah.
This is so funny because, again, we talked about cleanses where cleanses are just made up.
Totally.
It's actually so infuriating.
Toxins is just a catch-all term for shit. If the doctor was saying like, do you want to shit more? It doesn't sound as
do you want to
marketable.
Shit for $65 a day?
$65 a day, £6.
And I do it for free every day.
Yeah, being like our poster child, Grace Mulvey, who shits £6 in 6 days on her cleanse. For free. One of the most drastic diets, right, that brides have tried, okay, involves daily injections of human chronic gonadotropin, a hormone associated with pregnancy. Human?
The method?
Say it again.
Human? Why are you doing this?
No, I just because I thought you were going to say human growth hormone.
No, human chronic gonadotropin, a hormone associated with pregnancy.
Guys, sign up for Grace's Patreon. She's learning to read. You can support her.
Leave me alone.
It's okay.
I'm trying to handle the science.
Chronic gonadotropic substance.
It's a hormone.
Okay, no, sorry. The only reason I when it's specific because I thought you were going to say HGH, human growth hormone.
Right.
But you're talking about HCG, which is like don't get me started because I
me
can't
started.
even pronounce it.
Yeah, because you don't have to say it 3 times. I'm not making you to say it 3 times. The method was popularized in 1954 by a Dr. Albert T.W. Siemens.
That's a fun name.
He published Pounds and Inches. The fad is back, and in December 2010, the Food and Drug Administration reiterated its findings that over-the-counter human chronic gonadotropin was fraudulent for weight loss and illegal. A prescription for it does not help you lose weight, like a certain almost weight loss drug we were talking about recently, where it's a big fad.
Ozempic. Wegovy, as in Wegovy.
Wegovy. There was a doctor who said, I flat out tell patients what the FDA says, which is they will lose weight by combining injections, weekly meetings with a registered nurse, and a 500 calorie diet. The $950
500 calorie diet. Excuse me.
I know.
Excuse yourself.
Excuse yourself.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Do you know 500 calories? Do you know what that is? That's like 4 tablespoons of olive oil. Like that's the equivalent of that.
You're chowing down on that olive oil. You're not shotgunning that olive oil.
A bag of potatoes. You name it. Those are the only 2 iterations. That's like a scone. You know what I mean? Like, I know. I'm all about scones today.
Yeah, you've mentioned scones a lot today, actually.
Scone reference.
Listen, these are just some of the diets that brides have tried in the past, hopefully now that are not in any way popular. But going back to the KE diet, which is obviously the nasal tube one that we were talking about.
Let's get back in there.
Apparently, so basically what you do is you get all of your nourishment through this tube with no carbohydrates for 10 days.
Love it.
Doctor, and I'm pretty sure that the man in your life is just can't wait to marry you.
I would rather just not eat for 10 days. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just fucking starve myself and drink water for 10 days.
The photo, and I will have to show you the photo that is with the article of Jessica. She's like in a shop and she just has this nasal thing. And like, the thing is, that they don't mention in the article is that some people need that form of tube to
of course.
live.
It's co-opted from the medical industry. Yeah. They go, oh, this patient who can't eat or has to have their food done through powder form. What if we use that for brides who want to lose weight?
Yeah, and like there are people who have like certain bags, certain tubing, anything to help them keep on weight, who are trying to just live. And then you have someone here like, hey, do you want to lose like 10 pounds? Like, it's also this weight, you're losing it in like 10 days to literally then go to your wedding. And I'm pretty sure gain it back. The moment you smell a fucking carb, you're going to double the weight back. Though the tube apparently is fairly kind of unknown in the States, it has been popular for years in Italy and Spain, right? Where it is used for casual weight loss before a big event. Casual. It's kind of like Dr. Ep4, who kind of administers in the US, says body weight is quickly lost through ketosis, the state in which the body burns fat rather than sugar.
AKA ketogenic.
He does mention that patients are often monitored over the 10-day period, although Jessica didn't look like she was being monitored. But anyway, for things like constipation, bad breath and dizziness.
How do they monitor them for bad breath?
Hey, breathe into my face.
Do you need a doctor?
Oh, God.
A doctor just like, oh, that's a 10. That's a 10 right there. Just put it on a little clipboard.
That's a 10 right there. It has to be obviously medically supervised because putting a tube up a nose is not the most comfortable experience.
No. Up the nose, down the throat, I imagine. Like
Yeah.
in
Into the esophagus, yeah. Hey, can you guess how much for 10 days?
Like, I'm paying you for this. I'm paying. You're taking my money.
You're paying for constipation, bad breath,
Yeah.
dizziness, and a tube down your nose, 800 calories a day in a powder, no carbs, no taste, no fun. How much you pay me?
$2,000.
$1,500.
Oh, come on, Jessica.
You were close. Miss Schneider said, Jessica, people when she wears
That's
it out.
$150 a day.
Well, good for you.
It took me that we actually did a big edit there. There's half an hour. There's half an hour of dead air.
Connor's writing on the walls like a beautiful mind on the windows, trying to figure it out.
Grace is trying to continue on. I'm like, no, Grace, let me get it. I'll get it. Carry the one.
Jessica said that when she goes out in public wearing the tube, people think I'm sick, I'm dying.
Yeah, they
she
would.
refrained from going into her daughter's school. The children, they would be scared, she said. So
children. They would be scared, just the way she phrased that.
They would be scared. But what kind of, again, pisses me off is that someone else has to wear this to live and survive.
Totally.
And also the going about their day just must be much harder. And then she's just doing it.
And as well, and you touched on it there as well, and we kind of jumped past it, but like the run up to your wedding, your relationship, and your husband is like, oh, I love you, babe, can't wait to get married. And she's like, hang on a second, I couldn't hear you. I was detubing. Before bed.
Gotta get this out of my esophagus,
And he's just like, that's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. I love you. It's great. And then she takes it out for the wedding day and it's all photos on it. And then they're like, oh, well, thank God that's over. And then they go on the honeymoon and she's like, oh no, we're in Italy now on our honeymoon. The home of pizza and nose tubes.
Yeah.
Nose tube goes right back in.
What I find interesting is that you mentioned this, the home of nose tubes. The home of the Colosseum and a nose tube. Not only in that, coming up to a wedding, particularly the few days before, you obviously have a lot of family coming in. You know, like if your family, some family live nearby, but there's a lot that come from abroad. There's a lot of like pre-celebration before the wedding day. There's a lot of really special moments. And are you telling me that you're still meant to be starving yourself or having a fucking tube up your fucking nose? And not only that, what happens to your body the day of your wedding and you eat for the first time?
Well, that's something borrowed something and
something. Ew. That's exactly where it came from. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just to me like the dieting steals so many good moments in your life.
Oh yeah,
we know this. There's been and this was the thing actually that I was meant to mention earlier. This whole thing about like weddings being such a kind of big deal for brides and bridal parties, and many people involved. Actually, there's a whole thing that I kind of want to get into in another episode about like big events actually being a huge thing for diet culture and people who have either disordered eating or whatever. Actually, most people coming up to a big event suddenly start fixating on how they look. And it could be a big event for anything. Yeah. And it starts this whole thing of like, what do I need to do to on the day look good enough for Instagram now or look good enough for the photographs that are going to last forever? That's what we start to think like. And so like, and if you are very much a person who's into routine, it takes you out of your routine and it can start really stressing people out. And it's something we don't talk about. Like, were you ever like on a diet and you go like, okay, I'm starting this diet, starting it tomorrow, blah, blah, and then you're like, oh shit, like in like 3 weeks I have my mate's big thing and the party, or I have to be going to this, and that's going to ruin it. And now I don't even want to go. And it's like that thing where you don't want to live your life because of this. So for weddings, the fact that someone could get engaged, and the moment they get engaged, they might start going, how am I going to completely ruin the next how many months of my life? How am I going to completely remove myself from family and friends, remove myself from my normal life so that I can look a certain way very quickly? Or like, they'll go into planning mode. And also on top of that, you're dealing with a very stressful, an event that's very stressful to organise. For most people, they only get married once. They've never organised an event of this scale. You know, and the family politics, everyone fucking knows there's always a fight that goes on around a wedding. Like, and then with all that pressure, you're meant to also be hungry and working out twice a day or doing fucking push-ups right before the aisle. Like, you know, what's wrong with looking like yourself on your wedding day?
Yeah.
Like a nice version of yourself, don't get me wrong. You're going to be wearing a very nice dress. But what is wrong with looking like you? And I think it's just mental to me that the way we look all the time is not okay with us the moment we know it's going to be a big day. Like that's suddenly we're like, well, now I have to look like a person who looks like they're filtered on Instagram all the time. It's just because everyone wants to look nice. Do you not get me wrong? And you can, by the way, do whatever you want with your body. I'm not saying that like if you're a person out there who wants to lose weight for your wedding, like this isn't a judgment.
Absolutely.
What we're saying is what is going on that people are going to such lengths and that strangers who you're paying for their services feel free to talk about your appearance. Like that to me is mental.
That's such a great point. Like, because honestly, I think wanting to, change/enhance your appearance for your wedding day, like that's something that people are going to be doing anyway. If part of that is, changing your diet and changing the way you move and all of that in the run up to it in a healthy, sustainable way, like that, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
It's when it starts to, first of all, hurt your physical health and your mental health. And then when it starts to ruin your actual big day and the run up to it. Do you know what I mean? It kind of defeats the purpose. And it's like, okay, I'll be 10, maybe 20 pounds lighter because I've done all this really potentially destructive stuff, potentially harmful stuff that may lead to like excess weight gain, like when I stop doing this. For what? Like the cost has been, you've been super stressed and super burnt out, like, and worried in the run up to the wedding. And then on the day, it's like just becomes impossible to actually relax and have a good time and spend time with the people that love you. Like is the point of your wedding to have fun with family and friends and kind of celebrate this love and relationship? Or is it to showcase a body that is 10 or 20 pounds lighter? Like that's what it boils down to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're so right actually. Yeah, it's what is the point of your wedding? Like is it like, is it so that you can have the photographs that you think you should have on your day? And that you should look a certain way in those photographs. Because I'm going to tell you right now as well, on the day of the wedding, as I said before, like as a bridesmaid even, you are kind of like, you're surrounded by people, like no longer, by the way, is it the official photographer. This is another thing now that has people kind of in more of a tizzy at modern weddings. No longer is it just the photographer who's going to get the shots. You now have, everyone has a phone.
Sure. Yeah.
Everyone can take photos of you and they start sending you. And it's actually overwhelming how many photos you will get sent. And like in a way, and I've seen at weddings now where people are like, please don't take photographs. We'd rather don't put up photos before the bride does. Or
you're trying to look at a bride walking down the aisle and someone's got their gigantic iPad in front of your face. And you're like, I think the photographer's got it covered.
Yeah,
like.
and there's a really famous photograph actually of a professional photographer took of down the aisle when he was trying to get a picture. And it's all phones. But also just people being like, maybe just don't put photos up. Like when you're sitting at the fucking wedding, don't be putting them up online already. Because the bride also was like, there's kind of like a way I want to look. And now I basically am having people put up photographs that I didn't know were being taken of me.
Signed off on them.
I haven't signed off. And like, that's the way I felt even as a bridesmaid. I was literally like, at one point I had a pint of Guinness in my hand and I'm like just having a good time. But then I suddenly, like, it was like loads of people were taking photos and I felt like, I can't be standing here doing this because I'm in this lovely gown.
You're in the spotlight.
So then I just took a shot. Listen, but just
what,
following...
a photographer? Swing at him?
Just,
That's one of those
I took
kind
a
of
shot
weddings.
at the photographer.
I've photographed those kind of weddings, yeah.
Just but following this New York Times, and I'm going to wrap it up now in a second, but following the New York Times article, they had to do a follow-up article because they were critiqued so much that they didn't in any way sort of like question these methods. Just to show you around that time again, and I don't, as you said, you don't think it's changed much. The coverage that was kind of picked up from many other outlets, this kind of article about Jessica doing the nasal, you know what I mean, the KE diet. ABC World News ran a segment featuring Jessica saying she was desperate for a quick fix, then essentially congratulating her for finding one.
Oh.
They referred to the KE diet as somewhat controversial and suggested that losing so much weight so rapidly may not be healthy. But the segment ended on a decidedly chipper note with the anchor saying, or with Jessica saying, I'm happy because those £10 went off fast, and the anchor going, we're happy for her too.
Oh my God. Can I just say, there's a reason why me and Grace haven't heard of the KE diet before this, right?
Yeah.
And if me and Grace haven't even heard of a diet in passing, you can bet your ass it's controversial, right?
Oh yeah.
But I'll tell you why we haven't heard of it, because it's not a diet. It's not a diet.
No.
It's not a thing. It's just some crazy thing somebody did out of desperation that then the media slaps, or maybe the person who's trying to sell it to somebody slaps the word diet on the end of it, and it sounds like a thing. Maybe this will take off. Maybe people will adopt this. It's not a thing.
No, and actually even looking into some of the critics of the diet, including the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics in the States, they have said it is unhealthy and may cause infection of the lung, kidney failure, and erosion of tissues in the nose and throat.
Get out of town.
Another potential danger is obviously the development of eating disorders in connection with crash dieting. Short-term risks include insertion trauma, septum damage, perforated throat, lung damage, and gastro-intentional bleeding. All for the price of $1,500. Now, to end on a more kind of chipper note, I wanted to just, very quickly, right, about the groomsmen. So I was trying to look up, with the kind of, study that we found, the Cromwell study, there was lots of little kind of citations on top of it. One was about groomsmen, because I was trying to figure, I'm trying to include the guys.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? So, behaviours among engaged men. A cross-sectional survey of 163 engaged men asked them to complete a questionnaire about their current height and weight and ideal wedding body weight, and kind of like the importance of their weight at their wedding. Results indicated that the discrepancy between men's current weight and reported ideal weight was about 9.61 lb.
Okay.
Okay.
They want to lose £10 for the wedding.
Yeah. Compared to women, which was like 23.
Which is,
right?
Yeah.
Most men considered being at a certain weight at their wedding as somewhat important. About 39% were attempting to lose weight for their wedding, in comparison to women, 70%. And 37% were not trying to change their weight. Mm-hmm. Okay. So in comparison to, say, I think it was something like 25% of women said they just wanted to maintain their weight.
Okay.
Attempting weight loss was more frequent among men either with higher BMIs or those planning more formal weddings.
Okay.
And those who considered being the right weight to their wedding as important. But I found formal weddings very interesting. I was wondering why men who were going to more formal weddings, maybe it's a more fitted suit, maybe it's like a tuxedo, maybe there's just something about it that makes them feel at a formal setting they need to be slimmer. But it was very interesting to me that was one of it. But that just shows you kind of the difference, right? Now, some quotes I came across that I thought were really interesting when looking into all of this, okay, was here's some kind of just some brides talking about their experiences, right? One bride said, I just felt like it was going to be the most important day of my life, so I wanted to look as beautiful as possible. Unfortunately, because of our societal standards of beauty, I attributed that to slimness. I wish I hadn't made myself feel so ill, and I wish I hadn't been so hard on myself leading up to the wedding. This other woman said, so I've been getting up at 6:15 a.m. to go for a run, squeezing in an abs and bums exercise class, skipping breakfast and slashing my chocolate and alcohol consumption, all in a bid to be smaller for the big day. I swapped sleep-ins for swimming lessons, happy hour for HIIT classes, and a social life for squat jumps. I gaze at my skinny friends who never exercise and eat as much as they want, while I live in a life of restraint, scarcity and misery. I resent this time I've lost, the books I haven't read, the writing I haven't done, the joy, the friends, the abundance, the alternatives seem unthinkable to me. In our fatphobic culture, looking your best on your wedding day is usually a shorthand for being thin.
Well said, lady.
That hit me like a fucking ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Looking your best is a shorthand for being thin. Anyway, for another bride from Swindon decided to lose weight before her wedding day. For me, knowing I had a lot of eyes on me, we had about 120 guests was kind of her reason for wanting to do it. But also, brides in films always look so perfect. I wanted to look like that too. As a bride, she received lots of "isn't she beautiful" comments, but a number of family members also commented that they thought she looked too skinny on the day, that she had lost too much weight. When someone says you look too thin,
you just can't please them, right?
You can't
You're
fucking
either
please
too fat
them.
or too thin.
That's exactly what she
With women,
says.
it's always they're either too heavy or too thin, and it's like there's no fucking.
She lost too much on the day.
God, no,
Fuck off.
Very thin. Did you see how thin she is? It's like
the whispers almost fucking started as they walked down the aisle.
Could she not have lost a bit of weight for her wedding? It's like fuck off.
Fuck off. One woman, I thought you'd enjoy this. One woman said that she quit her pre-wedding diet that was making her miserable after loved ones intervened. She said, my sweet fiance, who up until then had begged me to stop as I was turning into a hungry monster, escalated my issue to my squad. They sat me down intervention style and read a note he had written for them to read. She said, I think hearing his words come out of their mouths did the trick. No one ever listens to their partner.
That's beautiful. Wow, well said. Well said.
You know, one other thing I wanted to mention, because if there is anyone that is listening who is getting married or going to a wedding or a big event, because not only is this just weddings, as we mentioned, big events can trigger a lot in people, okay? So if you are going to something like this and you feel a bit of pressure to lose weight, or like you're just wondering, why am I so fixated on losing weight? There was a therapist who kind of spoke out about this in a great article that I thought. She said the whole thing really about losing weight for your wedding can also be about control. She said, wanting to look great for photographs, to show off a really good dress, I think there's something deeper at play here. A wedding is a symbol of a huge transition into another phase of life. With all the transitions, there's a complex mix of emotions going on internally. In addition to the joy and excitement, there's also fear of the unknown, sadness about leaving behind certain aspects of single life, and even confusion about the whole process. It's really hard to be with all those feelings, especially in our culture, which expects women to simply be elated to be getting married. And so focusing on weight and body image can be easier than focusing on those darker emotions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's also about control over our bodies. And then Instagram being another mounting pressure with social media. Once upon a time, you only really had to be concerned with your professional photos, but nowadays anyone with a smartphone can snap wedding photos at any time from any angle, and they can share those images with their entire social media following. Be a good guest, don't fucking do it. There's a lot, that's not in the article, that's just me.
And even if you do take a photo for yourself to remember, don't go plastering it on the internet before the wedding's even
come
bleeding
on,
over.
like just enjoy the wedding. So there's a constant, they're being inundated with perfect photos of celebrity and influencer brides only reinforces the notion that a bride must be flawless. So how do we kind of counteract this? Well,
don't get married.
Don't get married, girls. Girl, I stay single.
Yeah.
But
hashtag blame the dress, not the bride.
Right. But when you are starting to feel this whole thing about wanting to look a certain way for your wedding, and by the way, you can still do it, don't you know? But if you're feeling overwhelmed by all of this, this psychologist said, share the two things to do. Share the thought with your friends so that you can have a good laugh about all of this and support each other in not fasting and not going on another crazy diet, all to be thin for this one day, okay? And another thing to do is to decide to enjoy your wedding day, knowing that your beauty does not come from skimming a couple of more pounds off your body. Own that your beauty comes from embracing the love of your life, which is what the day celebrates. Thanks for listening to this episode of Fad Camp. As always, we want to thank our producer, Darren Lee. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to review us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Great ratings and reviews really help more people find the show, and it would mean a lot to us.
Make sure to share the episodes with friends and family or on your social media. Every listen helps.
And we absolutely love hearing from our listeners, so please get in touch with any of your diet stories on fadcamppodcast@gmail.com.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with Head Stuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.